everyone, welcome back to the channel. I have to be honest with you, today's story is a bit of a mess, and it's something I never thought I'd be sharing with anyone. But here we are. I guess I'll start from the beginning. So, I started this new job a few months ago. I was just excited to get started, New workplace, new people. Nothing too crazy. But then, I met her. At first, I didn't think much of it. She seemed like just another coworker, friendly, professional, nothing out of the ordinary. But the more time I spent around her, something just clicked. It wasn't anything dramatic at first, just small talk in the break room, chatting about random stuff, laughing about work mishaps. But slowly, I started noticing things. The way she'd smile at me when no one else was around, or the little lingering glances when we'd talk. It was like a spark that I could never ignore. And here's the thing. She's married. I know that. I knew that from the start. But I couldn't stop myself. We started spending more time together, talking more outside of work. And then, one night, everything changed. I won't go into details, but, let's just say the line got crossed. And now, here we are, months later, tangled up in something that I don't know how to get out of. I feel guilty every single day. Every time I see her, I'm reminded that what we're doing is wrong. But here's the kicker. I can't stop. I don't want to stop. It's like I'm addicted to something I know will destroy everything around me. But every time I look into her eyes, all of that guilt fades away, and I can't help myself. So, yeah, that's where I'm at. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm stuck in this situation, and I don't know how to get out of it. Everything had been a blur for months. We continued this affair as if we were two people trying to escape reality, even though we knew we were just digging ourselves into a hole we couldn't climb out of. But then, something happened that I didn't expect. Something that threw everything off balance. It was a Monday morning, and I was sitting at my desk, trying to focus on the pile of work that had been stacking up. But I couldn't think straight. My mind kept wandering, imagining her face, thinking about the last time we'd been together, and wondering what kind of mess we were really creating. But then, she came in, my coworker, the one I was having this affair with. And she wasn't alone. To my surprise, there was a man with her, someone I had never seen before. He looked familiar in a way I couldn't place. They were laughing together, talking about something that looked too comfortable, too intimate. And then it hit me. I couldn't believe it. I was staring at him, trying to make sense of everything. Her husband. She'd been bringing him to work. He was here. I had no idea. All these months I had been under the impression that he was this distant, workaholic guy that never paid attention to her. But there he was, walking around, laughing with her, like they had this perfect, normal marriage. My stomach dropped. Everything I thought I knew was crumbling. I felt like I was in some kind of twisted game I wasn't prepared for. What was going on? Was she seeing both of us at the same time? Or was there something else I didn't understand about their relationship? And why didn't she tell me about him? And I felt so stupid. So stupid. How had I not realized it sooner? I tried to keep it together, but the truth was slowly suffocating me. I couldn't focus on work anymore. Every time I glanced up, I saw them talking, sharing jokes, just like any normal married couple would. But why? Why had she kept him a secret? And why was I so blindsided by all of it? I felt like a fool. I was tangled up in a lie, unsure of what was real anymore. But then, something else happened. After work, she called me. My phone buzzed in the middle of my commute home. It was her. I picked it up immediately, my heart pounding in my chest. I needed answers. "Hey," she said, her voice sounding calm, but I could hear something else beneath it, something I couldn't quite place. "We need to talk." I felt my palms go clammy. Talk? What did she mean by that? When we met that evening, she didn't waste any time. She told me the truth I wasn't ready to hear. "He knows," she said, her eyes dark and serious. "My husband knows about us. He's known for months." I felt the blood drain from my face. "What?" she continued. "I thought I could keep everything separate, but it's all fallen apart. He's been okay with it. For now, he just wants us to keep it quiet." My brain was spinning. What was she telling me? How had I been so blind to all of this? Was I just another part of some sick game? Or was there a deeper motive at play here? Everything I thought I understood about this situation was wrong. She'd been playing both of us, her husband and me, and I had no idea. The guilt that had been eating away at me suddenly shifted into a mix of anger and confusion. I wasn't just trapped in an affair with a married woman. I had unknowingly become part of a bigger, darker game. But the twist didn't end there. She dropped another bombshell. The husband had a secret too. He's been seeing someone else too, she told me. Now, my mind was officially blown. What? How was any of this real? How had I been so naive to think I was the only one caught in this web? She went on to explain that their marriage was an arrangement, an open secret between them. They were both living double lives, but the difference was she wanted to keep her affair with me a secret. He was more open about his. They had agreed to see other people but never told me the truth. I was just one piece of a much larger puzzle. I felt like I was drowning in this mess. Who was I in all of this? A pawn, a backup, a side story. I had no idea what was real anymore. So there I was, caught in a web of lies, tangled up with two people who had their own secrets. And honestly, I didn't know which way was up anymore. I had spent months feeling guilty, confused, and lost. But after everything she'd said to me, the weight of it all finally hit. I had one choice to make: walk away or confront the mess I was in. I was angry, hurt, and honestly, I just wanted the truth. I needed to know if I was just a distraction or if I had meant anything at all to her. So, I made up my mind. I decided to meet her husband. Yeah, you heard me right. I called him. His name was Dave, and I told him that I needed to talk to him, face to face. I wasn't going to live in the shadows anymore. When I met him, I expected anger, confrontation, maybe even a fight. But that's not what happened. He was calm, too calm. He looked at me like he already knew what I was going to say. "I know," he said flatly. "I know everything. I've known for months." I blinked, completely taken aback. I thought I was the one who'd been kept in the dark, but it turned out he had known about the affair long before I even realized what was happening. But the real shock came next. "You're not the only one," he said, leaning back in his chair. "You see, we've both been living our own lives for a while now. We agreed it would be easier this way. But what I didn't expect was for her to get attached to you. I didn't think it would become real for her. I felt the air leave my lungs. What the hell was going on? How could this be real?" But then, Dave leaned in a little closer. His eyes locked onto mine, and I could see a spark of something dark in his gaze. "You're free to go," he said, his voice almost cold. "But I'll be honest, if you're looking for closure, I'm afraid you're in the wrong place. This was never about love. It was always about control." I didn't understand. My mind was spinning, trying to process everything. What was he talking about? Then he dropped the real bombshell. "You've been part of a game, my friend. A game that's been going on for years. And you're just the next player." And that's when it clicked. This whole thing, the affair, the lies, the secrecy. It wasn't just some love story gone wrong. It was orchestrated, a game of manipulation. The entire affair was a setup. Her husband had known from the start, and he had allowed it because he had his own plans. I wasn't the first man she'd been involved with, and I wouldn't be the last. We had all been players in their twisted little chess match, and I had been blind to it, thinking I was just caught up in a love affair. But the worst part, I had been used by both of them. I felt sick to my stomach. All the emotions, the guilt, the shame, the longing, none of it had been real. It had all been a facade, and I had played my part. I stood up, wanting to walk away, to escape from this nightmare. But Dave's voice stopped me. "You can walk away if you want," he said, his tone suddenly soft. "But there's one thing I'll tell you. You'll never really be free. No one ever is." I didn't know what to make of that. I didn't know what kind of game this was, or what kind of people I had gotten involved with. But I knew one thing. I wasn't going to play their game anymore. I walked out of that meeting, and as I stepped into the night air, I felt a weight lift off me. It wasn't over. Not yet. But at least I could walk away knowing the truth. The truth that I had been played, but I was done playing along. As I stepped out into the cold night air, the reality of everything hit me. I had been living in a fog for so long, blinded by the idea of love and guilt. But now, I had my freedom. Freedom from the lies. Freedom from the manipulation. Freedom from the game. And yet, the truth still lingered in my mind. Had I really learned my lesson? Or was I just another pawn, waiting for my next move in someone else's game? I couldn't shake that thought. Maybe the game was over for now, but in the back of my mind, I knew it was never truly over. And somewhere out there, they were already playing again. But I was done, at least for now. That's all for today. Please leave any comment under the video. It will help our channel grow. If you don't subscribe now, we probably won't see you again. But if you do subscribe, you won't miss new interesting Reddit videos. See you.